Alright guys, welcome back to Crunch Time, the show you get the best NBA DFS picks each and every day. Today we have a nice 8-game slate here, joined as always with chrissair DFS. How are you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, you're loud. I'm doing well as well. How's your back doing? Is it better?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Can you move? Can you hoop again or not yet?
No, probably like a week away.
Week away, nice. Yeah, so 8-game slate. Are you excited, Chris?
I'm always excited. I mean, this is the end of the season, so this is where we get all our funny business. Bunch of cheap guys. We saw Stanley Johnson go for 60 yesterday. Probably Tim Frazier today. Just random players will go off. So, I mean, you have a lot of salary, so you have to spend up for the studs as well. So, I mean, it's fun.
Wait, so, wow, the last games of the season are on May 16th. 2 days. I didn't know that. Did you?
Yeah, every team plays on that day.
Last day though, I thought there'd be like I thought it would go up until next week or something, like end of the week, but it's ending on Sunday. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think play-in starts on the 18th.
That should be exciting. I'm really excited for that actually. The play-in. But yeah, let's get into the success stuff. Might be a little loud here today. Some yard trimming going on, but it's kind of hot in here, so I have to keep the window open. But yeah, let's get into the success, Chris. See a question here from Adrian. Says, is Jordan Poole a value play on FanDuel?
Yeah, he's a great play. I mean, they ruled out Steph, Wiggins, and Draymond, so they're another team that's pretty much playing their backups, young guys, similar to the Grizzlies, Raptors as well. So yeah, he's a great play today.
And then we have a story time here from T-Bay. He says, I'm so pissed. Did not make any pivots to my lineup yesterday, and I ended up with the worst lineup build. I have got to check my phone for news even when I am outside. Got to look at my phone.
Yeah, I bet you he played those Raptors who weren't starting, Gary Trent and Chris Boucher.
Yeah, what's the best way to keep up to date with the news when you're away? The way I have it set up, I have do not disturb on my phone, and then I have a Twitter account. I don't know, you can use like Fantasy Labs NBA, whatever you want to use, and then just set up notifications for that. And then I also have on my phone a filter for my do not disturb, so those notifications always go through, so see them no matter what. That's how I do it. I don't know, how do you do it, Chris?
Yeah, just on the Twitter app you can make it so you get push notifications from an account. Whenever they tweet, that account obviously tweets all the news, so that's the best account to follow. That's what everyone follows, even if you're, obviously they have their own stuff, but I mean, still have to use the best available resources to your advantage. So yeah, I use them too. I get a notification every time they tweet, so I get the news right away.
Yeah, you gotta do something like that. Yeah, otherwise you're throwing away money if you're not up to date with the news, because it's an advantage. Like, I guess that's one of the aspects of one of the elements to the skill part of DFS. Just keeping up to date with the news, because there are right and wrong plays, especially when it comes to news. If someone's ruled out and you don't update your lineup, there's definitely a right or wrong decision. So keeping up to date with the news is definitely an important factor. Rondo here says Tim Frazier looks like mini Westy.
Yeah, I mean, we get it like once a season where he just goes for 50 at 3.5K FanDuel, 3K DK. So he'll obviously have to start today. I don't think he will. They still have Tyus Jones, Melton, but I'm hoping we get a Tim Frazier day before the season ends.
Yeah, Rondo also says he used to watch Frazier on TV when he played for Penn State. You remember those days?
I didn't watch, but I know Rondo used to on TV.
Yeah, he also says Russ over Luka, just out of the blue, right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say so. Like this last, I don't know, half season, like the Wizards started. I was looking at it a few days ago. They started like 1-16. So after that point, they've definitely turned it around. I don't know what they are now, but like that's just insane.
Right now, they are 32-18.
32 and 38, you mean?
Sorry, yeah, my bad. You said 1-18. I saw it in 18, 38, yeah. Not too bad.
Yeah, so they're like 30 and 20, which is pretty good. So But yeah, I mean, he's been balling.
Yeah. T-Bay also says, in response to what we just said about how important it is to stay up to date with the news, he just says, I don't use Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, like if you don't follow NBA news, you shouldn't be playing. Like it's as simple as that. But at least like you're in the Discord, so whenever there's significant news, I tag everyone. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, disadvantage if you don't is what I'll say, especially for DFS. You don't have to use it. You can just literally make an account just for that one purpose of DFS. That's it. But yeah, TBS says Wizards are only 2 games in front of the Bulls.
Oh.
Yep. And then, yeah, last thing he says, I was outside. That is my excuse, and it is legit. Yeah, let's go through the success, Chris. We got Nick up first, 113, 231. DraftKings main slate for him. Basketball, MLB, 127 into 204. And then we have you, 1600, 46 into 2600. Wrap it up a bit on FanDuel. And then DraftKings, 1500 to 2700. So solid stuff there. Then we got Reigns here, 250 into 466. NBA main slate on FanDuel. And then baseball main slate, 50 into 85. And then on DK, 250 into 524, 52 into 94. His bankroll management reminds me of Rondo's. Always on the dot here. 250.
Yeah, I was gonna say that yesterday as well.
Yeah. Shout out to Reigns. Love to see that. Yeah, Aiden here. What did he do? 57 into 99. NHL main slate FanDuel. Express slate baseball 10 to 20. Main slate NBA 57 108. Express slate NBA 1632. And then on DK, the classic contest. Classic, is that the main slate? That's the main slate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, main slate 50 into 100, and then 15 to 90, 10 to 20. So lots of stuff out of Aiden. Turn and burn here, 470 into 1200. That's awesome. Was this a tournament? This is a cash lineup, right?
Yeah. Turn and burn?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was optimal.
Yeah. Let me pull up your posts, Chris, and then we can go over your links that you shared ahead of time today. So that's nice. So yeah, FanDuel here, 1600, 2600. Let's go over that one. 8th place here. Let's open up a different one here just to compare. What happened here? Just let's go over it.
Yeah, so yesterday, I mean, you could just go to like the last place team just so we can see Trent and Boucher. But that was pretty much the big thing yesterday. They were announced not starting. I got burned by Millsap like last week when he was not starting. They didn't announce him out or anything. He just wasn't starting. He ended up not playing, so kind of kept that in mind. Raptors, I mean, they're awful with news nowadays. So yeah, I kept that in mind. Didn't want to play them, so I made a swap. Actually, projections changed as well. So I think the optimal actually changed to this team on the left with Buddy Hield and Metu. I didn't have the optimal going into lock just because I wanted a few more Pacers guys. The first team had Kawhi and Butler. I didn't really want to lock in Kawhi right at lock. I kind of wanted to backload a bit. And I felt these Pacers guys were worth it. So I wanted to get there. Ended up doing that. Ended up going very well. Pretty much after we got the Raptors news, this was the only viable swap, Buddy Hield and Metu. There was actually one with D'Lo and McGee. McGee was starting. I think that one actually won. But yeah, this one, I mean, I like the team here a lot, so it was a good night.
Nice. Let's go over DK then. So there you did 1,500 into 2,700, so crushed over there as well. What happened here? How did the slate look yesterday?
Yeah, so this one was a little easier. So Justin Holiday was in the lineup. He was in the optimal. I didn't play the optimal here, but optimal actually ended up doing better. It's the team at 299. But yeah, we had Justin Holiday, so he was at like 45% in most contests, 50% max. He was just on fire. He got 45. So at that point, it was pretty much like you would have a hard time losing. So then there was a 2v2 that I kind of swapped off of from the optimal. It was this team had Harris and Jaren Jackson. You just click on 23 so we can look at that team. Yeah, that team had Campazzo and Metu. So yeah, I didn't really want Capazzo just because I mean they they're locked in. I didn't want to take a risk on minutes or anything like that. So I wanted the Jaren Jackson Harris side. Jaren Jackson ended up getting 3 fouls in 7 minutes. So he had 11 points in the first half, and then he only played like a few more minutes in the second half. He was just awful, very handsy as always. But I mean, he's always good production wise. But he only played 20 minutes in the entire game, I think. So that wasn't great. So I think that's why I ended up losing the 2v2 here. Also, Jalen Harris got hurt, so he didn't play the fourth quarter, which was unfortunate because he was playing very well. But I mean, both teams still won here, so can't complain. But yeah, that was really the only decision here. And also, we had some bonus on both sides, so I actually had him in my core on FanDuel. The first team didn't have him. That's why I ended up playing him because he was in my core. But he got hurt, so that was kind of unfortunate as well. But yeah, ended up working out.
Nice. Should we go over anything else here, Chris? Pull up anyone else's lineup.
Yeah, just we already did the other one, the optimal, so I think we're good.
Okay, let's get into it. Yeah, 8 games going on here today, Chris. Let's do a quick overview. What your favorite games are here. Yeah, what do you like to target here today on Friday slate?
This slate is just way too crazy to have one team. Like, there's so many viable teams. There's so many teams resting their main guys. So, I mean, we'll get into it game by game here.
Okay, let's jump right into it then. First game up, let's do Cleveland, Washington. So let me just click the filters there. So Cleveland side, Isaiah Hartenstein out for them. Lamar Stevens out. Darius Garland, Chetty Osman, both questionable. And then Kevin Love out. Projected starters, Sexton, Garland, Coro, D. Wade, and Jarrett Allen. What do you make of the Cavs here, Chris?
Yeah, so Cavs, I'm not too interested in. Maybe Sexton. I've kind of been using him as a last piece over the last like 5 games or so. Garland has been out. Chetty has been out. So a lot of usage to go to Sexton. It's a good spot here against Washington. This is the highest over-under game at 227, so it's not a crazy number like we usually see. But it makes sense because Cleveland plays pretty slow. Sexton, he does everything for this team. If Garland is ruled out, then I think Sexton's going to become a great play. I think he's still a good play right now with Garland questionable. So we'll have to wait for that news. This is the first game of the slate. This is the only game that starts at 7 Eastern. Next game starts at 8 Eastern. So there's also value in backloading. I think if we don't get Garland out, I'm probably going to end up backloading just to wait for some more news. But yeah, Sexton, I'm interested in him if Garland's out. If Garland's in, maybe as a last piece, but probably not just because, like I said, there's value in backloading here.
Okay, let's go over the Wizards with our cover boy Westy, Chris. As Dinda says, DFS is easy, lock Westy and win. So yeah, Washington, we just have Brad Beal out. Projected starters, Westy, Neto, Hutchison, Hachimura, and Alex Len. Why do you like Westy so much here today, Chris?
I mean, just because we have so much value, like, we don't care about his price tag. We have infinite salary to spend pretty much. So yeah, that's why I like him. He's priced way up. He's just been crushing it every night, pretty much going over 70. So yeah, I think you just lock him in and move on here. Don't need anyone else from the Washington Wizards here. It's not a great matchup against the Cavs. I mean, they're still implied to score 118, so it's pretty high. But yeah, it's just Westbrook for me. He does everything for this team. And we have, for value guys, we just have other teams where they're going to be like main guys. And in this role for the Wizards, their other guys are going to be supplementary. So I'd rather go to other places for value, but Westbrook, he's a lock here for sure as a spend up.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Utah Jazz against the Thunder. So Utah side, we have Mike Conley probable, Juwan Morgan probable. I think that's it. D-Mitch still out, obviously. Projected starters, Conley, Ingles, Bogdanovich, Niang, and Rudy Gobert. Who do you like there, Chris?
Not really anyone. I mean, this isn't a team that's resting guys. It's going to be stars and scrubs today, so we're probably going to play 3 studs even. Probably like Jokic, Westbrook, and maybe Doncic as well. This team isn't resting anyone, so I don't really have interest in them today where we have teams that are resting people. So yeah, I don't want to play the Utah Jazz here against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay, let's go over our favorite NBA G League team, Chris. Thunder. So Muscala out, Josh Hall out, Dort out, Maladin back in, Ty Jerome questionable. Projected starters: Maladin, Pokashevsky, Darius Baisley, Roby, and Moses Brown. Thoughts here on the Thunder, Chris?
I thought our favorite G League team was the Raptors.
These guys have been a G League team for longer than the Raptors, so longer standing history.
Yeah, so I mean, because they've been there for longer, that's why we don't have interest. They're priced where they should be. We have the Grizzlies, who are another G League team. They're a new G League team because they're resting all their starters today. So all those guys are priced very low. And then this team, I mean, there's absolutely no reason to play the Oklahoma City Thunder today.
Okay, let's go over the next game, Orlando against Philadelphia. So let's do Orlando first, Chris. We have Mo Bamba marked as questionable, Carter Williams out, Ennis out, Porter out, and T. Ross out. Projected starters: Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, Dwayne Bacon, Mo Wagner, and Wendell Carter Jr. What are your thoughts on the Magic, Chris?
Yeah, same thing as the Thunder. Just don't need them here on this slate. Like on another slate where there weren't teams resting, maybe Cole Anthony would be interesting. But yeah, you can see the projected ownership on these guys. Like they're all pretty much sub 3%. There's just no reason to play the the Magic today. Maybe Cole Anthony, like I said, but yeah, I'm definitely not playing anyone from Orlando today.
Okay. TVA says, can't believe I have an OKC Thunder dry fit basketball shirt. I thought at the time it looked sick, but that team is so whack. I can't rep them anymore. I don't like SGA. I don't care if he's Canadian. I don't like his style.
You should wear it next time you play.
Yeah, maybe he'll play like SGA. Kind of plays like SGA Thomas. He kind of shifts gears, plays at his own pace.
No, he's more of a Westbrook. He probably got that shirt when Westbrook was there, so he's maybe like a throwback Westbrook from the Thunder. Kind of plays like him.
But he hates Westbrook. Is this like the Raptors? Is he a closet Westbrook fan?
I mean, maybe. I don't think it's as closeted, but maybe.
Yeah, you never know. T-Bay. Philadelphia, Chris, we got Korkmaz probable, Embiid probable, Shake Milton probable, Thibault questionable, and then Dwight Howard with the suspension. He is out. I feel like we always have Dwight Howard projected to get suspended or ejected in our Discord. Like every time he's playing. Projected starters: Simmons, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Embiid if he is in. Well, most likely in, right? Probable tag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who do you like here on the Sixers, Chris?
No one. Like they're playing their guys, but they're not playing them many minutes, so it's just a stay away spot here.
Okay. Let's load up the next one. Denver, Detroit. Denver's side first. Oh man, this game has a long list, both sides. So you got Paul Millsap out, Barton out, Campazzo out, Aaron Gordon out, Porter Jr. probable, Jokic probable, Monte Morris probable. Projected starters: Morris, Rivers, Porter, McGee, and Jokic. What do you make of Denver today, Chris?
Yeah, so it's a back-to-back for them. Like I said yesterday, I think Jokic is just trying to go for the MVP, so he doesn't want to rest. Ended up playing a really good game yesterday. So I think we can just go back to him as a spend up today just because we have unlimited value on this slate. He's easy to get to on both sites. I'm not going to say I love him as a play today just because there's risk that he only plays 20 minutes. At the same time, even if he plays 20 minutes, like he should get 40 fantasy points at the very least. I think the raw points matter here on a slate where we're just loaded with value. So Jokic is the only guy for me here. Maybe Michael Porter Jr. on FanDuel where he's 7.6, but I don't know. I don't think I really need that. Maybe if what's his name? The other small forward, Ingram. If Ingram's out, then maybe we can go to Michael Porter Jr. But yeah, I think it's just probably going to be Jokic for me, just as a secondary spend up to Westbrook, just because he's so easy to get to.
Okay, let's go over the Pistons. So we have Plumlee out, Frank Jackson out, Kojo out, Ellington out, Isaiah Stewart out, Grant out, Rodney McGruder out, Hamidou Diallo questionable. Projected starters: Killian Hayes, Josh Jackson, Sadiq Bey, Doumbouya, and Jahlil Okafor. Yeah, Josh Jackson, Chris, looks like he got his toothache fixed. You surprised?
Yeah, I mean, we played him last time. He got 9 turnovers, which is just insane. I think 9 turnovers in 24 minutes. So that was absolutely crazy. But yeah, he did decently.
He's actually a
But yeah,
turnover machine. Looking at his game log.
yeah, I mean he's not great, but yeah, I'm not too interested here. Maybe Okafor if he does end up starting. Maybe on DraftKings he's 3.2K. He's always been a decent point per minute guy, so I mean if he's starting, if he plays 26 plus minutes, he could get there. But problem is he's a value piece. We have better value pieces right now that are already there, so it's kind of risky to do that. But I think in tournaments, I mean he has the upside. If he plays like 34 minutes somehow, he has potential to go for 50 here. So maybe Okafor in tournaments, but other than that, I'm probably not too interested in the Pistons.
Okay. Next game up, we have the Clip Show against the Rockets. Let's go over LA first. Serge Ibaka, questionable. Marcus Morris, questionable. Kawhi Leonard out. Reginald Jackson, doubtful. Amir Coffey out. And Paul George out. Pat Bev also out. And Terrence Mann out as well. Projected starters: Rondo, Kennard, Toom, Marcus Morris, and Zubats. Yeah, what do you make of the Clip Show here today, Chris?
Yeah, so if I'm playing these guys, it's probably going to be some of the younger guys like Marcus Morris. In theory, he's a really good play, but he's questionable. If he does play, we don't know how many minutes he's going to get. I mean, that price tag is just insane on FanDuel, 4.3K. Like in this role without Kawhi, without Paul George, no Terrence Mann, no Reggie Jackson. I mean, he should smash, but we just don't know about the minutes. I think he's a decent play. I wouldn't be surprised if I land there, but there is some risk, especially if he's still questionable going into the lock. That's also why I said it's important to backload. Like there's some news that we're waiting on. Starting lineups are important here at this point of the season, so I don't mind Morris, but the main guy I'm going to be interested in is probably Luke Kennard. He's 4K on FanDuel, which is a decent price tag. DraftKings he's 3.4. That's where I really want to play him. I think he's probably a lock over there at that price tag. He should see his normal minutes, just because he doesn't normally get minutes in regular games. So he should start here, probably play 35 plus minutes. So I think he's a good play. Great matchup here against Houston, one of our favorites. They're implied to score 117, so it's a pace-up spot for them. So I have interest in him. Other guys, like maybe Boogie in tournaments. I mean, we know the upside he has. He's another guy that hasn't been playing many minutes recently, so maybe they give him 24 here. It's a revenge game against the Rockets, who let him go, obviously. So, yeah, I'm going to mainly stick to Kennard here. Marcus Morris on FanDuel for 4.3, and then maybe Boogie as well in tournaments.
Can't believe you didn't mention Rondo.
Yeah, I mean, this is a back-to-back for them, so I'm not touching Rondo. Like, yeah, there's no reason to.
Yeah.
If he's starting, maybe.
Yeah, if he's starting, would you play him then?
No, I wouldn't play him, but I'd consider him.
Got it. Let's go over the other half here. Actually, I feel like that's going to be a tough one for Rajon Rondo to fade. Do you think he's going to lock in Rondo?
No, I mean, it's a back-to-back. Like, it's you don't play these older guys when they're clearly resting their main guys. So yeah. I just don't see why Rondo would play over 20 minutes here.
Fair. Also makes sense. Houston side, Chris, DJ Wilson out, House out, Kevin Porter Jr. out, Christian Wood out, Avery Bradley out, and then Cam Reynolds signed a contract. You know him?
Cam Reynolds sounds like a football player. Honestly, it's that guy's name, Josh Reynolds on the Rams. Yeah, I know Josh Reynolds.
I'll pull him up after. We can look at him. Look at him, see what he's all about. But yeah, projected starters: Augustine, Kyrie Thomas, Jayshawn Tate, Kenyon Martin, and Kelly Olynyk. Do you know Kyrie Thomas? Why don't I know Kyrie?
Yeah, he's really good. He's getting minutes now, so he's a young guy that's pretty safe. We had some talk in the Discord about like, oh, you only play at this point of the season, only play ninth, like I don't know how to say it, like ninth on the bench, ninth best player on the team, because they're the ones getting minutes at this point. So he's the perfect guy here that kind of fits that mold. He should get a ton of minutes. He's pretty active, really good. I mean, I've watched some of their games recently just because we always pick on Houston. He's always active. He always looks good, but he's priced up. I think he's a really solid tournament play here. I think he's 5'8" on both sides, so it's a little bit of a spend up, but he's obviously not going to pop in optimals. But I don't mind him here. probably the only guy I'm really interested in from the Rockets, just because I think he has a decent game. Maybe KJ Martin as well. He's looked pretty good recently. Kelly O. Kelly O's been crushing as well. I just don't really love playing him at this point. When we have, I don't know. Do you like Kelly O? He's been crushing.
I mean, I was talking about Kellyo when I went hooping yesterday, talking about his nasty step back as well. I mean, I think I brought it up on the show too, but yeah, I like Kellyo.
Maybe Kelly O. Like these guys are viable, but I just don't really want to play them. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe one of them lands an optimal. Maybe Kenyon Martin, just because he's getting a ton of minutes. If you look at his game log ever since he began starting after May 5th against Philly, he's just been crushing. So yeah, maybe him, but honestly, I don't know. Not in cash games for me, but in tournaments, there's definitely some stuff here.
Okay, next game up, Toronto Raptors against the Mavericks. So you said the Raptors are our favorite G League team at this point in the season. Is that the case, Chris?
Yeah, are they? We just like the Raptors, don't we?
Yeah, we love
We're
the Raptors
Canadian.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I was going to go over.
starters?
Yeah, I have to do that. But I was going to ask a question. Deshaun says, Cam Reynolds, now we talking. He about to have a Westy night, 80 fantasy points. Lock him in, Chris.
Yeah, I don't even know what he looks like. You pulled him up, didn't you? I know Josh Reynolds.
Right here.
Yeah, I don't recognize him.
Do you remember him on Minnesota?
No.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Toronto, Dallas. Let's go over Toronto, Chris. So OG out, Kyle Lowry out, Fred VanVleet out, Pascal, Siakam out, Jalen Harris doubtful, Yuta Watanabe doubtful, Paul Watson out. Yeah. Oh, speaking of the Raptors, Chris, I think it's the offseason now for them. Like all their guys are out, and guess what? Fred VanVleet, he shipped the merch today. Got an email. I got it.
Nice. Finally.
I knew he would do it. I knew he was waiting for the season to end. I think it's because, their season's rough. Playing in Tampa, they're not at home. Like, it's hard. It's hard to do. It's not easy. Not being at home. But do you know if they're playing... Are they even playing back in Canada next season? Is it still up in the air?
Yeah, there's no decision yet, but I would imagine so.
Yeah, hopefully, that'd be good. But yeah. Projected starters there. We have Flynn, Trent, Stanimal, Bobby Boucher, Waterboy, Kem Birch. Yeah, it's a interesting squad here, Chris. Scary looking starting five. Who do you like there?
Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait and see who they actually end up starting. I wouldn't be surprised if they play Trent and Boucher here. But obviously, if they're not starting, they're unplayable. But if they are starting, they're gonna be really good plays, especially on FanDuel. But yeah, that's going to be big news. That's also why I think backloading is important here on this slate. Some of our value teams lock at 9 p.m. Eastern, Memphis, Toronto here, and then Golden State locks at 9:30. So pretty much the teams that we're waiting for starters on are locking later in the night. So I think you need to backload. But yeah, I'm going to be interested in the starters here. Stanley Johnson, he had the crazy game yesterday. Played 43 minutes, got 65 fantasy points. So it kind of looked like what he was supposed to be with his draft pick, but obviously he never panned out. So I don't mind him on FanDuel as last piece. Going to be more viable if Boucher and Trent are out once again. So we'll have to wait for that news. And then, like I said, if Trent end up playing, they're going to become great plays here. I think I'm probably going to play both of them if they do end up playing, but that's a pretty big if. So I think in DraftKings right now they're both popping, or actually just Boucher. So yeah, we'll have to wait for the starters. That's pretty important news there. So yeah, kind of going to have to play it by ear.
Okay. What overall pick was the Stanimal?
Like 4 or 5, I think. Let me check.
Yeah, I do remember he didn't pan out 'cause I think he was on... It was the Pistons, right?
Yeah, 8th pick. So not as high as I thought. But still, I think 8th picks are usually better than that.
How old is he? He's 24. Do you think... Isn't he... I think he carved out like a decent role as a defender this year, at least. No?
He's always been a decent defender, but I don't know. He just doesn't have it.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of OG Anunoby.
Yeah, no way that they're similar. OG is much, much better.
Yeah. T-Bay says, why do I feel like 77 is going to have like 20 fantasy points today?
That's what he's been doing recently.
Yeah. He says,
Put up 50.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he put up 50 last game though. I mean, even in limited minutes, he can crush. He always does. He just had some bad games in a row. So I don't mind playing him, but I don't love it.
Okay. Hasty says Freddie Gillespie is the only G League guy the tool is projecting, maybe Stanimal. He says Bembry, Trent Boucher, Birch, Flynn, and Baines legit league guys.
Let's see. Yeah, Gillespie. Yeah, from this team. Yeah, I agree with that. Gillespie and Stanimal. I mean, maybe. No, yeah, I agree with that.
So you say?
We call them G League guys because they're like end of the bench guys usually. Like Bembry, Birch, Baines, Trent is obviously good. Boucher is obviously good. Flynn's obviously good, but that's why I call them G League guys. I think honestly most teams, they're like when we say G League guys, we don't actually mean G League players. Maybe like one or two, but just end of the bench guys usually.
Yeah, they're not actual G League guys. I also say it because a lot of the guys the Raptors have, they develop through their G League program. So Boucher, big G League guy as well before. But yeah, obviously they're solid guys. But yeah, Mavs Chris, Maxi Kleba out. So I think some crunchers will rejoice over that. Don't know why people hate playing Kleba. But yeah, projected starters for the Mavs. We have Doncic, Hardaway, Dorian Finney-Smith, Zingis, and Dwight Powell. Also JJ Redick out as well. What do you like on the Mavs side here, Chris?
Yeah, so it's just one name, Luka Doncic. Just because I was kind of saying it earlier in the show, we have all the money in the world with all the guys resting. So we have value pieces who are super solid. So you need to spend up somewhere. I think spending up for studs like Luka, Westbrook, and Jokic are the safest options. If I had to pick, I would rank them, or if I had to rank the three, I would say Westbrook 1, Jokic 2, Luka 3. But I mean, there's merit in playing all three of them just because we have so much value on this slate. So Luka's the only guy I'm interested in here. Even if he plays 25 minutes, I still think he can get to like 45, 50 fantasy points. So I don't mind playing him. But yeah, other than that, don't want to play anyone else here.
Okay. Let's load up the next game. Sacramento against Memphis. Sacramento side, Fox doubtful, Barnes doubtful, Sean Holmes doubtful, Marvin Bagley doubtful, Robert Woodard questionable today. Projected starters, we have Delon Wright, Buddy Buckets, Mo Harkless, Chimezie Metu, and Holmes if he is in. Well, I guess he's doubtful, so I guess not Holmes. Who do you think is going to start the 5, Chris, for them? Damian Jones?
Yeah, they started Damian Jones in the second half yesterday when Holmes went out in the first half. So, I mean, they could start him. They could start Terrence Davis and move Metu to the 5. But I think they're probably going to start Damian Jones.
Okay. Yeah. Who do you like here, Chris? Obviously, actually, it's mostly doubtful tags. So, yeah. What do you make of the Kings here today?
Yeah, so pretty much the same situation we've seen from them in the past couple of days where Bagley's out, Barnes is out, and then Fox and Halliburton are both out as well. Terrence Davis has been crushing it, but he's around 7K on both sites now, so I don't love the price tag for him. Buddy Hield, he's 7K on FanDuel. Don't mind that, but I just don't think we need it here on this slate. The Kings are done. They got limited yesterday, so probably going to give more minutes to like Justin James. He had a really good game yesterday. Played 33 minutes, 40 fantasy points, shot 12 for 17, so obviously that's not sustainable, but I think if he's playing, I don't know, 36 minutes for whatever reason, maybe they'll start him. He could be viable as a value piece. So yeah, I'm probably going to be interested in the cheaper guys here. Maybe Metu once again. He's still 4-2 on FanDuel, 4-3 on DK. So I think he's a solid play. But yeah, for the most part, I'll try to stay away from the guys up top here.
Okay. Let's do the other half, Memphis side. Over there, we have Dylan Brooks, aka Dylan Bricks, out. Jonas Valanciunas out. John Morant, Brandon Clark, Kyle Anderson, Grayson Allen, Jaren Jackson Jr., Sean McBuckets. All those guys are out. Projected starters: D'Anthony Melton, Desmond Bane, John Conchar, Justice Winslow, and Tillman. What do you make of the Grizzlies here, Chris?
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite value teams to target today. We have a great matchup against the Kings. We have a situation where they're resting all their starters and a few bench guys as well. So Melton, Tyus Jones, they're going to get the lead roles at the guard position today, most likely. Like I said, we have to wait for the starting lineups here, but these guys are projected to start. These guys are really good point per minute guys. We've played them a lot in seasons past. Whenever this situation has come up, they always play well. So yeah, I love Tyus Jones. I love D'Anthony Melton here. Probably Tyus Jones is more of a DK play just because he's listed as point guard on FanDuel, and point guard is where we have our spend ups on FanDuel. So harder to get to him there, but I think on DK he's a great play for 3-1. On FanDuel, I mean, he's a great play as well, but might be hard to allocate salary if you go there. But Melton, he's a lock for me on both sides. He's 3-9 on DK, 3-6 on FanDuel. So I love him. Xavier Tillman, we've kind of been playing him before when JV has missed games. I think he's a really good play on FanDuel for 3.9K. DraftKings, he's 4-2. Problem is, he's only listed as center. On DraftKings, we have Jokic as a spend up. So he's obviously a center as well. So I kind of prefer playing Tillman on FanDuel, spending up for Jokic on DK. But I think he's a really good play. Desmond Bane, John Conchar, maybe Killian Tilly as well. I mean, we have to see who they end up starting, but I think Tyus Jones, Melton, Tillman, they're all locks to start here. And then the other two spots I'll probably be interested in once we know who they are.
Okay. Let's catch up on some chat here. So T-Bay, when we were talking about the Raptors, he says Raptors 905 team is like the chicken farm the Toronto Raptors use to get their birds. Talk about not wasting resources by buying chicken from a grocery store. What the fuck?
Yeah, so they grow it all in-house?
Yeah, I guess so.
I like that.
Deshaun says, should we play all three on FanDuel or DK? Assuming your studs, Chris. Jokic, Westy. Jokic, Westy, Doncic.
I mean, they're both viable on both sites. I think it's probably more viable on FanDuel, but I'm trying to play Jordan Poole instead of Luka at point guard, and then just going with Jokic and Westbrook just because I feel safer with Jokic and Westbrook. But if you land on all three, I mean, it's viable just because you're going to have the money.
Okay. What else? T-Bay says, such a sorry franchise. No wonder nobody wants to come and play in Toronto. They got to get their players somehow, eh? Can't be playing 4v5 out there.
4v5, like Sexton. 3v5, I think.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No. Recently?
In college, you got to watch that.
Oh, I think I saw a college game like that where the team didn't. I didn't know it was Sexton on that team. I didn't know that. Didn't they win?
No, they almost came back, but Sexton was the guy leading them, so he was the main guy. So you probably haven't seen it because you would have known that it was Sexton.
I think I've seen something like that, unless there was like another incident of that happening. But I've seen an incident like that on YouTube. I watched that. Maybe there's a different one. Yeah, new edition in here says, yo, this slate is garbage, Chris. It's trash. Take out the trash.
I actually like it a lot. I like it a lot. I like these slates at the end of the season where there's a lot of value, a lot of decisions to be made that are they all matter.
What would Matty D say about the slate, Chris? About the trash?
What would he say?
Get that garbage out of here. I don't want to do it now. I don't know if it would be too loud. I have to yell to make it sound right. But T-Bay definitely knows that one. I love that one. Trigger says, what the F is Memphis doing? They can still get the 8th seed. Let's pull that up. Let's see. I don't think so. Wait, 8th seed. Oh, 8th seed. Yeah. What do you think, Chris?
Let's see. I mean, there's got to be some big brain theory behind this. I mean, the Warriors are also resting their guys, so it's probably better to be the 9th seed for some reason here. Not sure why, but I guess, yeah, maybe they don't want to play the Lakers to start with. But I mean, even if you lose to the Lakers at the 8th seed, you still play the other team, the Warriors or Spurs. So I'm not too sure, but there's got to be some big brain theory behind this because both the Warriors and Grizzlies are resting today.
Yeah, get your Reddit conspiracy theories out, Chris. Load them up. Let's see. Clint says, I'm a little behind, but if Boucher starts, do you go Boucher over Jokic on FanDuel?
Probably not, just because, I mean, you have to, like I keep saying, you have to allocate your salary somewhere. Jokic is a good kind of way to spend up somewhere, so probably not. But I mean, if he's starting, he's going to probably project for around 40 fantasy points in this situation. So maybe, but I'd say probably not.
Yeah, T-Bay says about that game, Sexton won that game, pays to be a ball hog when playing 3v5. New Edition says,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
well, huh?
I said, yeah, that's true. Pays to be a ball hog when you're playing 3v5.
Yeah. New Edition says, okay, Welp, I'll be tailing you, Chris. Let's eat in Chris I trust. Is that what the FanDuel points should say? In Chris we trust?
Maybe.
Yeah. Hasty says, is it a good time of the year for tournaments? So many value plays to be different.
No, I mean, there's too much variance here at the end of the season. Like, we saw Stanley Johnson go for 65 yesterday, so I don't think it's a great time for tournaments. But I mean, some people can see it that way.
I've got the perfect build for tournaments, Chris. Max exposure. Put that all the way down to 10%. Crank up. You could just leave the uniques at 1. Build 150. Randomness at 20%. And there you go. That's the winning formula.
Yeah, I mean, if you have 10% of everyone, you've got to win at least one lineup, right?
Yeah. Yeah, let's go over the last game here, Chris. Pelicans against the Warriors. So New Orleans side first. We got Wandu, questionable. Lonzo Ball out. B.I. questionable. Najee Marshall in. Steven Adams questionable. And then projected starters, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Eric Bledsoe, B.I. if he is in. James Johnson and Steven Adams if he is in as well. So a few questionable tags here, Chris. Is this a team that we're interested in, depending on who plays, who doesn't, or are there just good plays elsewhere in the slate where we don't have to worry about it?
No, this is also a really interesting team because Nikhil Alexander-Walker, he's a young guy. He always crushes in these situations. Really good point per minute. He chucks. He's a ball hog. So, I mean, I love him on this slate. He's 6'2" on FanDuel. So I like playing him more than on DraftKings. He's 6'4" there, only point guard, not shooting guard eligible. So I think he's more of a play on FanDuel where he's a shooting guard. I think he's a really solid piece. If Ingram plays, I think he's solid on FanDuel as well for 7K. He's 8'2" on DK, so that's too expensive. But I think he could be a guy that we also allocate salary to on FanDuel. Maybe if you're not playing the three studs, Westbrook, Doncic, and Jokic, you can probably play Ingram at small forward instead of someone like Stanimal. So I think that's viable. Probably get into that once we get into the 2v2, 3v3 later on. But yeah, I'm super interested in Nikhil Alexander-Walker on FanDuel. He's going to be my main guy here.
Okay, let's go over the Warriors. So we have Jordan Bell in, Eric Pascal in. We have Gary Payton second, signed a contract there. Did you know about that one, Chris? Yep. Draymond Green out for them. Kevon Looney probable. Andrew Wiggins out. Kent Bazemore probable. Steph Curry out. And Mulder questionable. Projected starters: Mannion, Jordan Poole, Kent Bazemore, Eric Pascal, and then Kevon Looney at the 5. Any interest here, Chris?
Yeah, I have a ton of interest in the Warriors here. They're another team resting everyone. So Jordan Poole, he's a young guy. He's a really good point per minute guy. He's been playing really well in this last month or so, and now he's going to see probably 36 plus minutes. So he's a great play. He's 4-1 on DK. FanDuel, he's 5K. Tough part is we have to spend up there. Well, we'll get into it because I think he's in one of the lineups that we're going to talk through. But there's a really tough decision there on FanDuel with Jordan Poole at point guard. He's an awesome play, but just might not be able to land there. But yeah, he's going to be my favorite guy here. We also have Juan Toscano Anderson. He has 5K on DraftKings. I think on FanDuel he's a little bit cheaper, or he's actually more expensive, 5'4". I love him today, both sites. I think he's a super solid piece. Should also see 36 plus minutes. He's really good point per minute. He's also had a really good stretch this past month or so, so similar to Jordan Poole. And I really like his game now. Like I hated him at the start of the year, but just looks like a really solid player. So I definitely like him a lot. Kent Bazemore as well. He's 4.9K on FanDuel. On DraftKings, he's 5.2. So he's a solid piece as well. I think those three guys are going to be the main guys that have the ball in their hands for most of their games. So they're going to be my favorites. If for whatever reason they start Gary Payton, he's going to be a really good play. We had him on the Wizards last year. He was crushing whenever he got minutes. So won't mind him if he plays. He gets a lot of steals just like his dad. So don't mind Gary Payton if he does start. I think he could be really sneaky in tournaments. But for the most part, it's going to be Poole, JTA, and then Bazemore as well.
Is he in the player pool, Payton? We don't have him on FanDuel. Is he only on DraftKings today?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we don't have him in FanDuel here, but I do see him on DraftKings. Yeah, that's it for the slate overview. Let's clear it up.
Yeah, he's not on FanDuel.
He's not like on the site. Yeah, that's good. Got Royal King in here. Excuse me. What's up? T-Base says, can't believe Haslam. Sorry. Yeah, UD played yesterday, Chris.
Yeah, that was strange. I think it was like the first time they had fans in the stands because, I mean, he hasn't gotten minutes all year. That was very strange.
I need to pull up. What was that the YouTube channel that has like all the player highlights? Remember?
You're the one that was hyping it up, so you should know.
I have it bookmarked somewhere. Oh yeah, NF Classic. Let's see if I can find it.
You think they have the Haslam clips already?
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's see. Do you see it?
Just Control F.
Oh, I don't
Do you have Control F on your Linux?
Yeah. It's in the bottom. Yeah, I guess not. But I did find it on YouTube. Ejected after 2 minutes. I need to watch that. Huh?
Let's see it.
It's a long video though.
How long?
Let's see. Actually, no, this one's not that long. Let's pull it up. 1 sec. Let me get the link. Let's see.
Game the other night. That's his first bucket. And a foul is called.
This is just the ejection, right?
Yeah. Haslam.
And now Haslam's having words with Dwight Howard. I'm loving this right now. Here we go.
Haslam pointing the finger, may have made contact. He talked about his toughness before.
I don't know how that's an ejection. I didn't watch the game, but
sense of urgency
I don't know how
to
that's an
this
ejection.
game for both teams.
Too soft?
See, first of all, Howard throws him to the ground here.
I honestly have no idea.
As they got tangled up for a rebound. And now here's the words between Haslam. And there's the point.
It's not a swing.
May have been contact.
Let him play. Let's see. T-Base says, I literally have no respect for that guy. I remember when he vowed that he would retire with Dwayne on the same year, but he got greedy and wanted his own farewell tour. Clown.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Sean says MPJ or Ingram if he plays on FanDuel.
I'll say Ingram if he plays, but I don't think you'll know in time. Let's see. When does Denver start? Denver starts at 8 Eastern. Ingram starts at 9:30 Eastern, so might not know in time.
Yep. What else? T-Base says don't break your promises, UD. They don't give farewell tours to bums. Hasty says Haslam is a GOAT. He reps the Heat brand better than anyone else. About time someone stood up to Dwight.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Yeah. T-Base says don't do that, UD. You can't sniff Dwight.
That's not true.
Deshaun says stop the violence. T-Base says all-time Heat rebound leader, UD.
So is he turning on UD now? Does he like him?
You never know, Thomas. But yeah, let's go over 3 pillars, Chris, 3 key plays of the day. This is the secret sauce here. So overall, play of the day. Start off with FanDuel, Chris. Who's your guy there?
It's got to be Westbrook. He's just the safest guy. They're still playing for something. He's been crushing. No Beal. Easy to spend up for him, so it's going to be Westbrook for sure.
Okay, and then value play of the day. Who's your guy?
It's between Melton and Tillman here. I'll say Melton at shooting guard.
Okay, and then tournament play of the day. Who's your guy? Give us a good
Let's
one.
go crazy. Let's go DeMarcus Cousins against the Rockets. I mean, maybe they give him like 30 minutes here against his old team. Obviously, they left on bad terms, so I mean, there's some vengeance here to be had.
Yeah, why not? Do it. DK, Chris, let's do the same thing. Overall play there. Is it Westy as well?
Yeah, it's Westbrook for sure.
Yeah, DFS is so simple. Dinda says it, Chris, all the time. Lock Westy and win. Value play, who do you have?
Yeah, well, I mean, just on that, it's not simple anymore because he's going to be 100% owned on both sites. Maybe before when he was lower owned. But yeah, value play here on DraftKings. I'll go with Melton once again, 3-9. Actually, give me Tyus Jones. He's a little cheaper, 3-1.
Okay, and then tournament play of the day. DraftKings, Chris, give us another crazy one here.
Stick to my guns. I'll stick with Boogie here.
Okay. Yeah, T-Bay, he says, last time I checked, the 305 was Wade County, not Haslam County. My goodness, Haslam County makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Oh, God. I have, like, the D-Wade, Wade County hoodie. It's a nice one. It's actually a really nice one. I think it was, like, his retirement tour hoodie. Yeah, I wonder if anyone else has that, but it's a nice hoodie. I still can't believe I got my merch from Fred VanVleet. Like,
Finally.
Huh?
You have to tell Brent. Brent is going to be happy about that.
Yeah, next time he's in here. But yeah, I wonder if it'll make me appreciate the merch more. How long I had to wait for it. The backstory is too good. Let's see. High school legend in Miami High was a Hurricane in college. Then lifer with the Heat. Could you have a better career? Ask the locals.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah. Hasty says, where's VN Jones when we need him?
Yeah, that's true. We need to ask him about what's going on in the streets of Florida.
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah. FanDuel, Chris, Coors here, Westy, Melton, Tillman. Quick recap for anyone joining here. Why do you like these guys?
Westbrook, just easy to spend up for. The Grizzlies, they're resting all their starters. Good matchup against the Kings, so that's why.
Okay. Also had a request from who wanted us? Clement. Clement wanted us to go over the model settings, Chris. So we can do that at the end quickly. But yeah, which ones do you want to go over here?
First two here.
Okay, let's do that. So what do we have? Jordan Poole? Doncic?
Yeah, I think we have a 3v3 here. So Westbrook in both lineups. He's the lock, of course. Alexander Walker here, 6'2". This is kind of his time at the end of the season where they don't have much to play for. He just takes all the shots. That's why I like him. If Ingram gets ruled out, it's an even better spot for him. So we'll have to wait for that news. But even if Ingram's playing, I still like Alexander Walker a lot. Melton, we locked him. Bazemore 4-9, decent price tag here. They're resting everyone. He's still playing, so he should start. Should get a lot of minutes, or not a lot of minutes, but probably 30 plus. Should have the ball in his hands a lot though, so that's why I like him. Tillman locked him, and then Jokic, just another guy who's pretty easy to get to. Honestly, don't love him here just because it's a back-to-back for them, but I think he's going for the MVP, so I mean, I think he's safe for 30 minutes. And then 3v3 here. So we have pretty much entirely different players. So the first side is stars and scrubs. Second side is more balanced. So we have Luka, Stanley Johnson, and Marcus Morris versus Jordan Poole, Brandon Ingram, and Juan T. So this is very tough because I like the second side a lot, but I don't know if I can go into the last game with Ingram being questionable. Hopefully we get it in 3 minutes when that injury report comes out. If not, I'm probably going to have to lock in the first team. I really want Jordan Poole, but it's easy enough here to get the 3 studs in Westbrook, Doncic, and Jokic. So definitely don't mind that route. Marcus Morris is questionable, so have to keep an eye out for that one. But if he's out, there's probably going to be a pretty easy swap. I think there's still 4 games left at that point of the night, so there's probably going to be a pretty easy swap for him if he's out. I would imagine there's probably going to be another Clipper who's going to pop, so don't mind locking him in at the start of the slate. So yeah, I'll go with the first side here, but it's not a strong lean at all.
Okay, DK, let's do the same thing there. Cores, I'm on the staging. That's a mistake. One sec. There we go. So yeah, cores here. You got Westy, Poole, Melton, Tyus Jones. Chris, give us a recap why you like these guys here in DK.
Yeah, so I mean, I love Poole. That's why I have him here. Couldn't fit him on FanDuel where there isn't enough.
Too many guards, Chris.
Yeah, they fit though. You can just lock them in individually. I guess it doesn't work like that. But yeah.
Oh, weird.
Poole easier to get to here, just because you can fit him at guard, you can fit him at util. Then we have Westbrook, who's the spend up, easy spend up. Everyone's going to play him. Melton and Tyus Jones, they're the guys who benefit the most from the Grizzlies situation. So yeah, that's why I have those 4 guys.
Okay, and then which ones do you want to go over?
First 2.
Okay, and then while I pull that up, Willie Hoop says, any love for Stanimal for FanDuel value?
Yeah, I don't mind him as a last piece. I don't think he's a lock or anything like that until we get confirmation that Gary Trent and Boucher aren't going to start. At this point, it's up in the air, so that's why I'm not going to lock him in. But even if Boucher and Trent play, I still think he's fine for a last piece at 3-5 on FanDuel.
Okay, just a 1v1 here, Chris, in JTA and Bazemore.
Yeah, so this lineup is very obvious here on FanDuel. Only decision, obviously, is the Boucher thing. He's obviously in both lineups here. He's 6'5". If he starts, he's going to be a great play. If he doesn't start, obviously, we can't play him. We're going to have to pivot off of him. But I think going into the slate, we can kind of play him here and then update it as the slate goes on. So we have Westbrook in both, Melton in both. They're in my core, Jones in both, and then Poole in both. And then the 3 other guys are Kennard for 3-4. Super good price tag with Kawhi, Reggie, Paul George, a bunch of guys missing, Terrence Mann as well. So I love him there. Jokic, 11K, same thing as FanDuel, just we have a lot of money to spend. And he fits, so that's why I don't mind him. And then Boucher, like I said, if he starts, I'm going to play him. If he doesn't start, I'm not going to play him, so we'll have to wait for that. And then the 1v1 here, Juan Toscano-Anderson versus Kent Bazemore, pretty easily goes to Juan T for me just because he's the younger guy here. He should get a lot of minutes. He's been playing very well. Bazemore, he's older. Wouldn't be surprised if they limit him to like 30 minutes here. But I think Juan T could get up to like 36. So I think it's very obvious here on FanDuel, on DraftKings, assuming that Boucher plays.
Okay. What do we have to do? We have to go over a single game here for World King. Which one, Chris?
Yeah, let's do the late night one.
Okay, let's see what we get. Yeah, BI. This is actually, it looks pretty crazy here with the MVPs.
Yeah, because there's not like one guy that stands out. Maybe Ingram if he plays. But yeah, this is an ugly slate. I think this is the national TV game as well. I think it's on ESPN. But yeah, this is an ugly game. But it's nice for us in DFS because there's going to be a lot of value here. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this because all these guys could be the top scorers. I wouldn't even be surprised if Toscano-Anderson is the top scorer here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this one myself, but let's go over the player model quickly, Chris. For C. Davis, Clement, you want to do it on the main slate or for the single one here?
Oh, main slate for sure.
Main slate for sure. Should we get rid of the locks? Keep them in?
Yeah, you can get rid of them.
Okay. So, I mean, we have the previous lineup build. We have these 2 favorites. Should we favorite a bit more just to compare? Makes it a little easier. Top 5 or something, or what?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do top 5. So this is, I guess with the locks, the most optimal builds in our eyes right now. without adjusting the player model. I'll give one big disclaimer here. For cash contests, I don't think you want to mess around with any of this stuff at all. I think I have to move my camera there. Yeah, I wouldn't mess around with this for cash contest at all. What do you make of that, Chris?
Yeah, you shouldn't at all.
Yeah,
for cash games.
Yeah, so don't touch this for cash games. I'd say this is more for tournament players who are doing multi-entry things, multi-entry builds. I guess that makes more sense to say that. And I think it's fair to look at it as an alternative to using randomness in many ways. You can use both together, but I think you've kind of brought that idea up, Chris, where you said it's like an alternative to randomness because it adjusts the projections for your player pool in a very unique way, so you'll have very unique projections with that. You can combine it with randomness, I think, just so you have slight variations within your new model that you create. But yeah, can you just expand a bit, Chris, on that idea, why you said it's comparable to randomness in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, you said it yourself because you're adjusting the projections to whatever you see fit. I would definitely not use it with randomness. I think that makes no sense because you're changing it to what you like and then using randomness randomizes that, which makes no sense. So if you're using this, don't use randomness. Only use this in tournaments. But yeah, you just go through all this stuff. There's 4 options currently that you could go through. If you just read it, it makes sense. So and then just move the slider around. So like if you change average point per minute in make it like 5 games. What's it at right now?
5
10.
right now.
Yeah, so last 5 games. So that just means that average point per minute in the last 5 games, that'll be weighted more. So let's say someone has been at like 1.3 points per minute in the last 5 games. They're going to pop a lot more in projections. If you make this weight 100, you can see how it changes. Let's do that.
I was just going to say, what kind of players would you expect to be to pop if we put this to 100? Like a guy like Kelly O, he's been killing it. Westy probably as well.
Probably Westbrook, Jokic. You pretty much get the studs with this. Maybe DeLon Wright,
like
Chris Boucher. Yeah, so you can't really tell how much they change, but you can see that everything's changing. So you're getting Kenyon Martin at 7.5. He's becoming the 8th highest projected player, which is pretty crazy. Usually he would probably be like 20th, 25th. So yeah, it changes your build a lot if you just do that.
Yeah. Let's just build that, see what we get with this one. And yeah, the cool thing is you can adjust these, you can play around with them, and you can see in real time the impact it has on the projection in the player pool. So you can combine them, you can just do them one by one. I think to get a grasp of it, probably the easiest way to do it first is just to do each setting one by one and see what that does, just so you kind of understand how it works. You can always pull up a player's game log and then see why they're there with the setting that you have. But yeah, with this, Chris, this is just getting some streaky players recently. Yeah, what do you make of it?
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. You're getting the streaky players recently. So Kyrie Thomas here, he's been crushing. Kenyon Martin has been crushing. But the thing is, you got to look at this. So you're getting Batum. If you look at Batum's game log, he's playing very well, but he only plays like 18 minutes per night. So even though he gets like 22, 23 fantasy points, doesn't play enough minutes to get you there. That's why you have to, or you can use all the settings here in unison and kind of build out a better model. This is obviously just to test it out and see what it gives you.
Yeah. What else could we look at, Chris, today?
We can look at all of them. I mean, like set them all to 25. Let's see what we get.
So do you want to just maybe recap? This one is average points versus points per minute. This is just raw points, right?
Yeah, this is raw points. So this will make guys like Westbrook, Jokic. It would basically make the studs higher. The other one will make some of the guys who play less minutes but perform well, like Cam Payne would fit into that mold. He always performs very well, but he only plays like 18 minutes per night. But he always crushes. So he would fit the top one and then wouldn't really fit the bottom one. So yeah, that's the difference there.
And then implied team total, Chris. Like we said, you can just hover over it to get a summary of how it works. But How would you phrase this, Chris? Implied team total. What does that one do?
Just open up the Vegas data card above. It's just easier to tell. Sort by team total, which it already is, and then it just means you'll get more players from the higher implied team total games. So Washington, Dallas, Utah, Clippers, Philly, New Orleans, Golden State, and then less of Orlando, less OKC, less Toronto, less Detroit. But at the same time, this stuff is also baked into the projections. So if you're using the baseline projections, it's all factored in already. But if you want to kind of take it to another level
Kind
with
of
the implied
amplify
team
it.
total, you could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. This one's kind of interesting. Sometimes I look at it with back testing. I just compare like the optimal cash lineup with no model settings, and then I just put like the team total to like 100%, and then see, like, I just compare the first optimal and then the first optimal with full 100% weight to the team total. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, 25 here as well. Is that what you want to try?
Yeah.
And then what about this one here, Chris? This one's, I think, a little bit more complicated. Minimum projected fantasy points per minute higher in N of the last M games. How does that one work, Chris?
Yeah. So we're doing some algebra here. But yeah, I'm just kidding. Basically, it means exactly what it says. So maybe you have to read it through like 3 times, but it makes sense. So minimum projected points per minute higher in whatever game. So you can move the slider to like 4 to 8 games, and then set the fantasy point per minute to like 1. So now what this means is every lineup is required to have, well, you have to set the number here on the right, and then like you just have to play around with it, and then you'll get it, because it's kind of confusing like this, kind of hard to explain on the spot.
It is.
But yeah, it just means that right now we have 0 players with lower value allowed. So that means that none of your lineups will have any player who has, honestly, that bottom right thing should be on the bottom left. The bottom left should be on the bottom right, because that's the order it is. But this means that 0 players with lower than 1 fantasy point per minute in 4 of the last games will show up in your lineup.
So no players. So with this setting, just the bottom setting right now, if you only have the bottom setting, all of your lineups, they're not allowed to have any players in them who have had less than 1 fantasy point per minute in their last 4 to 8 games.
It would make a lot more sense if the bottom right thing was just on the bottom left, because then you could just read it in line. It would make a lot more sense.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Yeah, so I mean, we could set it to like 3. 0 means that, I mean, you're not going to get many builds with 0, I don't think.
Yeah, I'll also say right here, you can actually see the players that fit that mold here that you set up. So if it's the green arrow up, that means they are here. Green arrow down, Jarrett Allen over here, means he did not have this. So yeah, that one's a tricky one. What do you want to set it to? 0, 3?
Let's just turn it off for now, because I mean, this is one you have to play around with on its own before you can grasp it.
Yeah, I don't think this is really making an adjustment to the model as well, right?
No, but it's adjusting your player pool.
Yeah, I guess that is the case there. But yeah, let's build these with 25, 25, 25. Do you want to do 10 games here, Chris? We didn't adjust that, actually. Do you want to do more recent stuff? What do you want to do?
Let's try last 3 games.
Yeah. With the 10 games, you can actually see we have 2 lineups here that we had without adjusting any models. So without adjusting the model. But yeah, let's take a look at the other one. Last 3 games. Hit build. Yeah. Let's take a look at this, Chris. So yeah, what's the difference here? What are you seeing different here compared to the default no model adjustments?
We're getting Porter Jr. He's been crushing. These Rockets have been really good point per minute. Kenyon Martin, Curry Thomas, Jayshawn Tate. Rondo, He's been playing very well. Also, I don't think he's viable here because obviously he doesn't play enough minutes. Bledsoe as well. He's been killing it. So you just got a bunch of guys who've been playing very well recently. And then also you get the projection poppers from today, like the Grizzlies. You get Juan T, Russell Westbrook, obviously, Stanley Johnson. So yeah, you kind of combine everything together. But I don't really love this build. I would play around with it more. Like we said, play around with it one by one, and you'll have a easier time understanding it.
Yeah, let's just take a look at the Vegas. If we amplified the Vegas team totals today, Chris, what do you make of these here compared to the default ones? I think we're getting two of the default top 5 ones here as well.
Yeah, it doesn't make that much sense to me here on a slate like this at the end of the season, because obviously the teams with their stars missing are going to have lower totals because they're going to score less. But at the same time, those are the teams that we're interested in today, like the Raptors. Grizzlies are still popping because they're playing the Kings, so they still have a healthy team total, but you're not getting many Warriors, who I love today. You're not getting much Poole, no Juan Toscano-Anderson, so not something that I would use today on a slate like this.
Yeah. What about this? Slightly less value or less weight put onto that. Does it look a bit better?
Not really, because now we're getting a lot of Embiid. Embiid, I think, has a higher implied team total than Jokic, so it makes him higher than Jokic. But I don't want to play Embiid here on this slate. Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't use this, but this is why you go through them one by one, so you could see what does what. Every slate is different, so like I said, on a slate like this, I wouldn't use that one. I would stick to the top 2. But on another slate where it's more kind of everything is set in stone with normal lineups, that's when I would use something like this more.
Got it. Last question that I see here from Deshaun. He says JTA or Marcus Morris.
JTA.
Okay, and then let's do some housekeeping, guys. I think that's it for the show. Check out our site, dfscrunch.com, our optimizer, our projections. So if you're a new member, if you've never been a member with us, you go to our site and you make an account, you click join, or you join here, anywhere. You'll get 3 days for free. So try it out, no risk at all. Friday's always a good day to do it because you get the extra weekend sports with UFC. And what else, Chris?
UFC, NASCAR, NHL, MLB, NBA, EPL. No WNBA, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
I think we'll get WNBA soon. I kind of want to add it because it's rough not having any basketball DFS during the off season.
I mean, it's definitely not worth it for resources because WNBA is like a sport that dies after 1 week in terms of DFS because contests become like tiny, so it's really not worth it.
I mean, that's true. I didn't think about that. But yeah, check it out, guys. Like I said, if you're a new member, haven't been a member, you go to our site. You don't need any coupon code for that trial. You don't need any special link. Just our website, dfscrunch.com. So yeah, try it out. Completely free, no risk at all. 72 hours from when you sign up is when you'll have your first charge for your subscription. So totally in your hands if you want to cancel, if you want to keep it. So to cancel it, it's in the sidebar here. Click that, hover over this account profile picture thingy, click account center, and then over there you'll see your subscription overview, and then you can just click cancel there, or you can just leave it if you want to leave it. But try it out, completely free, no hard feelings if you cancel, and just use the 3-day trial. So take advantage of that if you have not tried it out yet. Solid stuff. And then the other thing here, guys, YouTube, if you enjoyed the content, thumbs up, subscribe, bell button if you are inclined to do that. I think that's it. We'll be back at it tomorrow, 2.5 hours before main slate, Saturday.
Are you logged into FanDuel?
Yes, I think so. Why?
Let's go build a WNBA lineup. There's a free play. Let's see what we can build. Hopefully Hasty's in here.
Yeah.
Go to the WNBA. I think it's an ad at the top. Actually, I don't see it there. Actually, the 4th one. Yeah. Yeah, let's build this out. So let's get some of the studs in here. Hopefully you can ship it. Can you move your camera to the, I don't know, right, I guess?
You just scroll down.
Yeah, that's good. Brittany Griner. Okay. Oh, let's get her. Sabrina Iona Skew. I think she's good. I think she's a rookie or something, second year. She got hurt or something. She's good. No Plum.
Kelsey Plum.
No. Scroll down.
Is this Matt Bonner?
Yeah, but we need some salary saver. Oh, let's get Diana Taurasi. She's the GOAT. Let's get Skylar Diggins Smith. How much salary do we have remaining?
3.6 per player. Gotta
We need
go.
some value. Do we have Candace Parker here? Is she playing today? Chicago? Nope. Yeah, so let's scroll down. Let's find some value here.
Oh. Isn't it purely value left, Chris, with the amount of money we have? Oh, it goes to 3K. Wow.
Yeah, so who do you think plays here? Christina Anwigi?
Well,
Anigwe?
why don't we check who's out the top? We got New York, Minnesota, Dallas. Let's open one of those teams.
We have a little Phoenix stack going here. Let's get some Minnesota value just to use a bring back here. 'Cause
Yeah, we have some.
we have a lot of Phoenix.
Yeah, I've got Nafisa. Nafisa, she's out.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, Ochanwu is probably a good play. Shepard, Jessica Shepard. Let's lock in those two. See how much salary we have. And let's look at Indiana, because let's get a bring back for Sabrina Ionescu. Anyone? No one. Okay, let's just see who's left for 4.6K. There's got to be someone good.
Yeah, it's got to be someone good. 4-1.
Wow, it just jumps from 4.6 to 4.1.
Maybe we can get someone
Interesting.
instead of Shepard, no picture.
Yeah, that's true.
Or do you think Shepard's gonna go under owned because of no picture?
Maybe.
I mean, all these narratives, that's what matters here. WNBA DFS.
Yeah.
Maybe we can pay up more for someone else, or do you like our studs here more? Enough.
Let's get off of actually no, let's keep the studs. Let's just leave some salary. Let's be different. Let's
Thornton, Joe Thornton.
no, let's play
Tucker, Tucker.
Jantel Lavender.
Lavender.
Yeah, that's the bring back from the. We can probably get off of Shepard or a Chongwu. Up to you which one.
I think Shepard would be less chalky. No picture.
So we want her.
Yeah.
So now we have 4-2. Now we can just play Kayla Thornton here.
Thornton.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks good.
Yeah, it's the winner.
Should I max enter this one, Chris? The crossover?
No, you definitely should not.
First place, 10K. I can ship it here.
Yeah, it's gonna be first place 100 in like a week.
There we go.
I wouldn't do it.
I'm going to ship it. I'm in.
We don't even know if Jessica Shepard plays.
That's part of the rush. DFS rush.
Yeah, okay.
We can go over... This is today? No.
Yeah, that's in 1 hour.
Oh. Yeah, we can go over this tomorrow, the results. So, yeah, we'll go over the 10K result tomorrow, guys. So stay tuned for that. It'll be 2.5 hours before the NBA slate locks, not the WNBA slate. So NBA, we're still NBA standard time over here. Yeah, anything else, Chris, from you? Any other sports that you want to enter right now? Maybe some League of Legends, Counter-Strike, any other DGen
No, that's it.
DFS that you want to do? No? Hasty says Griner is not the move.
Okay, let's get off of Griner. Who does Hasty like? Because I mean, Griner's a beast. So
Let's go
I mean,
Jones.
I don't know why. No, we need some. Let's get some more value. I don't want to play Jessica Shepard. I don't feel comfortable with her. Who does Hasty like? Who's good
He
here?
says Ogwumike. This one
Which one?
right
No,
here.
there's two of them. No, there's two of their sisters.
Oh, both.
Oh, we could stack it up.
I like that.
Let's get off of we can get off of Skylar then. 5-6. Maybe Courtney Williams. Tiffany Hayes is out, so I think Courtney Williams got some bump here.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, this
Is that better? Does Hayes T like that one?
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, Grinder's probably tired from the back-to-back.
Yeah. This looks good. Do you like it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, can we export this to the other one? There we go. Yeah, you excited for that, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, should be good. Yeah, anything else you want to go over, Chris? Hasty said Williams is a good call.
Yeah, Courtney Williams.
Yeah, heard lots of good things about her.
This is good stuff here.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we'll go over the 10K results tomorrow, so we'll do that before the NBA content. But yeah, good luck, Chris. Any good lucks from you? Farewells.
Yeah, good luck. Hopefully, I mean, to keep up with the news, I'll update the Discord as always. Going to be a ton of news here, so yes, keep an eye on the Discord, keep an eye on the news, and yeah, good luck.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, good luck, guys. See you guys all tomorrow. Be in the Discord, like Chris said. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah, see you guys tomorrow.